Okay, so some really good news last night for self-employed, with the government announcing the self-employed income support scheme. So what will this do? Well, this provides the self-employed with 80% of their monthly income in the form of a taxable grant up to £2,500, basically putting the self-employed on the same level as their employed counterparts. Okay, so let's look a bit more detail about this. It is based upon the average earnings for the last 3 years, and there is some eligibility in terms of who can actually apply for this. So the eligibility currently stands as you must have submitted your 2019 tax return. So this should have been done by the end of January. However, the government have extended the deadline slightly for this for 4 weeks. So that you have a chance to get this in to make sure you're eligible for this. But you must have submitted that tax return to be eligible for this. So really new businesses, unfortunately, this won't cover yourself. The other thing is you must have a trading profit of less than £50,000, and the majority of your income is from self-employed. So that means over 50% of your income is from self-employed to be eligible for this. HMRC hope to be able to get this up and running by the beginning of June, and HMRC will contact you if you are eligible for this. So do sit tight, wait for that contact, and see whether that comes through. A few key points I'm going to mention here. Unfortunately, limited companies aren't covered by this scheme. So if you're a director of a limited company, even if you're the only person working within that company, unfortunately, you're not eligible. However, most limited companies will have, the director will be employed in some way on some PAYE, and that would make them eligible for the job retention scheme, which will give them 80% of their PAYE earnings. Unfortunately, dividends won't be included within any of those earnings. It is based upon the average over the last 3 years, but if you don't have 3 years worth of accounts, don't worry, they'll average it over what accounts they actually have. But do make sure you've submitted your 2019 tax return. Now, the other thing to mention here is June seems a long way off at the moment, especially if you've got no work coming in. But let's look at some of the cash flow ways that we can help in terms of spreading that out. So HMRC have also said that if you've got a tax bill which is due, that can be deferred until January 2021. So you're able to use that tax money for your day-to-day expenses until that June payment. That June payment will then be backdated, and you can use that to replenish your tax bill account there so that you can pay it in January 2021. Do make sure you do allow that to be put back in. The other one to look at here is universal credit. Self-employed people can apply for universal credit, and universal credit applications are going in. And then you can apply for a immediate payment to see you through until the first universal credit comes through in about 5 weeks. The other thing to mention here is mortgage holidays. All banks are now offering a mortgage holiday if you've got a mortgage. If you're a private renter, you will need to speak to your landlord to see whether this can be applied to yourself, and that will be on a case-by-case basis. The other ones here is business rates are deferred for 2020 to 2021, and also speak with your council tax to see whether they will be able to give you a holiday there. A couple of things to mention here. It is a grant, so you do not have to pay it back, but it is taxable because it is replacing your income. It's based upon what your income is, and it is replacing your income. The key thing here as well is you can continue to work. It is something which allows you to work self-employed while you are receiving this. So it is a case of still go out, still try and earn the money, still keep business moving.